Thank you. Maximilian Boosfeld. He's the CEO for Wingtra. Wingtra is one of the several partners who made fantastic commitments to the Tech Hub during our application process, helped us really kind of build up the strength of what we were able to apply for in EDA. In this case, they're donating four, I think, six. Fantastic, even better. Even better, I'm sorry. 6 of their drones that are going to be helpful for the testbed project. We're going to be using them across all of the different testbeds that we have, and we get to learn a little bit more about that now. Thanks.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to be here. I'm painfully aware I'm that last and only obstacle between you and your lunch. So I'll try to do my best and keep it crisp and interesting for you guys. I'm excited to introduce Wingtra a little bit as a company and talk about what we have been doing in the field of precision aerial sensor tech in the last decade. My name is Max, and I'm co-founder and CEO of Wingtra, and super excited to be here today, speaking to you. So today, we live in a world with a bunch of challenges. We have climate change really on an unprecedented rate, rising temperatures, and in this environment, global food security is of a growing concern, right? At the same time, we hear about more and more disasters, wildfires that are happening, and how we can prevent those. And on top of all of this, we want to ensure economic prosperity for our communities, right? So this is like a multifaceted, challenging problem we have here in the world. And we believe that one way to do this better is actually to manage our world's physical assets more sustainably and more efficiently. And that's no less than what Wingtra decided to venture out for more than a decade ago by now, and we are making great strides towards it. So this is really like, how can you manage physical assets? And when I talk about physical assets, I mean it in a very broad scope, whether it's human-built infrastructure, whether it's natural resources we are protecting. All of these things count for me as like physical assets. And the important part is that we need better data to take better decisions and make the right trade-offs between safety and, for example, productivity. So when we imagine we had a perfect 3D model of an open pit mine, we can actually increase or maximize mineral extraction while ensuring safety of the mine and making sure it doesn't collapse, right? And the same is true for like a lot of the built infrastructure that was built in the last 70 years that is getting older and older, aging more and more. We can't fix it all at the same time, but if we know where we need to fix things before there is like real disasters or problems happening, that's actually how we can manage assets in a better way, right? Or we take a cornfield or any type of agricultural field. If we can ensure that we see actually the diseases, which will always happen, but we see them early, we detect them early, and we can go specific after them, that actually helps us to reduce the amount of input, like in terms of pesticides needed, and also helps us to increase harvest. So all of these things to say, this is what we're here for, making asset management more sustainable and more efficient. Wingtra serves customers globally around the world. We have by now 1,500. We started back in 2017 delivering the first units. And those are all doing mapping and surveying applications of their assets. So it could be a state DOT that is maintaining their highways and their infrastructure. Can be companies like Freeport-McMoRan, one of the leading copper mining companies in the world that are using our technology extensively to better manage their assets. Could be the Army Corps of Engineers, that is actually one of our large customers, monitoring the dams and levees. Or it could be the Civil Air Patrol, which is coming in post-disaster doing rapid response and mapping applications. All of these cumulative have done over 300,000 missions. And to give you guys a bit of a feel for that number, if we just take the entire distance of those 300,000 missions over those years, it's actually like rounding the world, and not rounding the world 1 or 2 times, but 250 times flying around the world, what our customers have been doing here collectively. And this rate is just increasing, right? So we see more data is getting captured, more customers going out more frequently. Today we are at a rate that, in terms of distance, per week our customers are flying around the globe 2 times. So this is super exciting for us. It also came with a little bit of challenges because flying objects and especially autonomous systems have one challenge, which is probably more of a child disease, but we have been going through, and it's that stuff doesn't work, right? And this is a particularly important learning, or sometimes a hard learning for us, or particularly for the robot itself. But it's super crucial, and I think we were able to turn around this and actually make it in an advantage, because we were systematically looking at all the challenges or all the failures that were happening, categorizing them, getting to the root cause, and by now customers in the industry really see Wingtra as that most reliable data acquisition platform out there and most mature, so we are super proud of that. And that of course also makes it more fun to put expensive payloads and sensors on it to carry. We are 170 employees around the world. Mostly headquartered in Switzerland, in Zurich, Switzerland. Then we also have about a team of 30 people. 2 of them here with me today, Gary and Spencer from the Americas team. So in the following, I'll talk about 3 innovations, 3 specific innovation, I would call them innovation highlights that we had that got us where we are today. And I think afterwards maybe we can find a bit of a common thread. What makes like repeatable good innovation happen? What are the key ingredients? And first I would like to start with this like VTOL innovation, because how do you collect all of this data to manage assets more sustainably and more efficiently, right? That's a big question. And people like traditionally were hiring a surveyor or having their internal survey crews go out with their, and that has been done for the last 100 years with slightly different technology, but in the end it was always going out by foot, walking the site, putting a few measurements in. This is super labor intensive, you get super few data points. They are accurate, they are super accurate when you do it right, but there's also a lot of human error that can happen there. And it can be dangerous, right? Active construction sites, mining sites, this is not the environment where you want to walk by foot, and sometimes they even have to clear those sites to let the surveyors in. So all of that to say it's not particularly scalable, it's not so much fun to be out there in the heat, and it's certainly very costly. So it was really only done when you had to do it. Now, people were exploring drones as a different technology to solve the same problem. And people were doing great strides, but those were all, like in the beginning, all smaller multi-rotor drones, so those conventional quadcopter drones that you might be familiar with. And they are not purpose-built, they cover very little area. And most of them actually came from China. We already heard about it, so they weren't NDA compliant, weren't a good fit for what we need them to do. Our fundamental innovation dates back by now 10 years, and it's really revolving all around this vertical takeoff and landing mapping that you can see here. Because what we do with the drone, it actually on the press of a button, it takes off vertically, and then it transitions, you can see it also on the slide, it transitions into a forward flight, and then it's in this efficient fixed wing mode where it can capture a lot of data in a short time. After the mission is done, it comes back, fully autonomous, fully automated, transitions back into a vertical mode and lands the same way on the same spot it took off. So if you have the chance to see this live, it's quite fun. It's like SpaceX, just on a little smaller scale, right? Good. Still, to put this into perspective, 10 years ago, there was no such device out there. Like, just if you find one, I would love to know about it, because we believe we were really the first ones that were able to do this in a commercial setting. And like Google, for example, came out 2 years later with their like parcel delivery drone. You might have seen the Anduril Roadrunner lately that came out a few weeks ago. But this is like 10 years after we have proven out the first pieces and bits of this technology, right? So plenty of people were calling us crazy back in the days. Today, the trusted Wingtra Gen 2, as you can see it here, is Blue approved and is actually the only drone, the only VTOL mapping drone out there that is fully NDA compliant. and you can capture 700 acres on the push of a button. So it's really combining unprecedented efficiency with an ease of use. And when I say this, I really mean it. Every single one of you in this room could do a data acquisition job with a Wingtra. It's as easy as that, and we're happy to prove it out to you if you're interested in. The second innovation I want to talk about is the RGB61 payload. So this is actually, over time, people were getting excited about drones, but there were still two challenges. One was on the data quality side of things. There was just not consistent enough. It wasn't good enough for what they were looking for. And the other one was on the amount of data that you were collecting. This is special to photogrammetry, where you have to have a very big overlap between images, and it actually ends up to be a lot of data. So something that would be a 2 or a couple of hours data acquisition job turned out to be a week-long processing sometimes for people to get to the results. And that's, of course, time to insights is key, right? If you want to scale this, you need to know faster what is going on. So at Wingtra, we partnered with a little company from Japan. It's called Sony. And we were building a purpose-built camera directly with Sony Headwaters, actually, that enabled us to offer resolutions down to 0.3 inch. So this is really a different level to your average Google Maps interface that you would see, while increasing mission speed by 30%. And making the data volume go down by 40%, so you actually get all the advantages of faster data turnaround time at the same. This was a game changer for our customers, and this is also not the last step of it. We can do more in this direction, but we believe we can get customers the right insights faster and in a more convenient way going forward. The third innovation I want to talk about is our LiDAR, our Wingtra LiDAR. It's actually pretty recent, just came out a couple of months ago now. And while I have been talking about photogrammetry, so RGB cameras that were taking photos, stitching them together to maps and 3D models, this actually only works in non-forested areas, right? The moment you want to see the ground on a forest, you will need a LiDAR solution. And this is actually where we came in with the LiDAR, because many companies out there were airborne LiDAR for smaller UAVs, so for smaller drones, but many of them actually lack in quality, have very complex workflows, and then are again limited in terms of how much efficiency we can get out of it because they were integrated with other systems. This time we partnered with a Florida-based company, a technology company that is building IMUs but also integrating LiDAR systems. And we were putting together a pretty impressive piece of equipment. You can see here, gives you down to 1 inch vertical accuracy, which is like pretty much what most of the people are looking for in these areas. Comes with a very robust and easy workflow, so you don't have to go through complicated pre-flight calibration procedures. Some of you might know if you're familiar with survey-grade LiDAR systems, but it does all of that automated, and then we also can capture much more area once again due to the system. So what's the recipe? What is holding all of these innovations together? I believe it's 3 things, 3 ingredients that need to come together for this success. On one hand, a dedicated team, and I'm super grateful for the team of Wingtranauts we have around the world that is helping us relentlessly to build the best solutions for our customers out there in the field. The second key ingredient is research, and here we are exceptionally fortunate that we come from the world's famous university, HTH Zurich. You might have heard about it. It's not as famous in the US as it is in the rest of the world, but it's actually colloquially called the MIT of Europe. So I think we have a pretty strong robotics, in particular, a pretty strong robotics background there that we are super excited about. And then lastly, and probably most importantly, it's about partnerships. And this is what we are all here for, right? And I want to give a special shout out to Ardio, to our distributor Ardio, and then Adam and his team in particular, who believed in us back in 2018 when things were really not as obvious as they might look in hindsight. So thank you very much, Adam, Bill, everybody. This was great. And actually, even today, I wouldn't be here speaking to all of you if it wasn't for Adam, who invited me to this super exciting initiative, getting to know the Headwaters Tech Hub, and being able to participate with our drones in the implementation phase. Fingers crossed for stage 2. So what does the future hold for us? Wingtra will continue on its path, innovating closely together with research, with our end customers, with our partners like RDO and the Headwaters Tech Hub. And we'll see next generation of data capture platforms, right? This is not going to be the last and only drone that you will see from Wingtra, because there's more we can do. Also, their technology advances. But most excitingly, there will be more optic and photonic sensors that will come and be integrated into this platform. So I'm inviting everybody who sees opportunity, let's talk about this and see what we can do there. And then lastly, there will be more and more analytics and AI algorithms that actually help us build the integrated solutions to manage the world more efficiently and more sustainably. And zooming out a little bit, I think this is an exciting inflection point. We are just getting started. There's so much more to explore, and we are all up for doing that together. So thank you very much for your attention, and please feel free to hit me up on this email. Unfortunately, I can't join the lunch, but I'll be around afterwards again. And then super happy to discuss any type of partnerships that you guys are interested in or have ideas about. And of course, if you need one of those beautiful drones, or you know someone who needs one of those beautiful drones, just come to us, talk to Gary. He's going to be the right person for you. Thank you very much.